Good evening and welcome everyone to round 6 of SFR Season 18, and tonight we find ourselves in the heart of the Middle East for the high-speed thrill ride that is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The race is under the lights of the Jeddah Corniche circuit located right on the shores of the Red Sea in the coastal city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia's second largest city and a gateway to the Islamic holy cities of Mecca and Medina as well. But tonight it is speed, precision and bravery that matters most around here on the streets of Jeddah. This street circuit is no ordinary one. It is one of the fastest on the calendars with 27 corners, extremely high average speeds, blind apexes and concrete barriers lining almost every section. Jeddah pushes the drivers to the absolute limit. One mistake and it could be qualifying or the race over. Expect a lot of drama as well, especially with multiple DRS zones, notably down the long curve by straight, whilst overtaking opportunities are at their peak. And there's DRS headed down towards turn 1 on the main straight as well, out of turn 23 towards 27, and of course out of turn number 16 and 17 as well, so watch out for that. There'll be DRS everywhere. I think there is 3 DRS zones around, not 4, because I remember correctly there used to be 4 DRS zones, but I think one of them has been taken out of the equation, so still got 3 DRS zones. I think Australia has the most DRS zones, ironically as well. 4 DRS zones on the Albert Park. You wouldn't think so, but there is. But around here in Jeddah, we expect more DRS zones, but there isn't either. Some tracks have 1 DRS zone, like Japan, Monaco, Abu Dhabi. I was joking. I wasn't joking. I was trying to think. But I can't exactly remember what other tracks have 1 DRS zone. Probably in but yeah, I said Japan already, Monaco as well. But here, there's plenty of chances, plenty of opportunities to overtake around here as well. And Nico Rosberg was the winner of the last 2 races, but unfortunately for him, he is not here tonight, so no triple for him in this race. But on board Jensen, the first one out on the circuit, had a difficult race back in Saudi Arabia. We could see the car just constantly complaining, but this time it's the car well planted, unlike at the Bahrain Grand Prix. As we head down towards turn 1, let's see how he takes the apex in towards third, right on the curves through turn 1 and turn 2, short shift up through the gears, back in the power once again, close to the walls as you possibly dare. As we head towards turn 4, this is the start of a complex of corners through here as well. These sequence of corners, one after another, constant change of direction, smoothing through as well. Very nicely done indeed. A lift off the throttle, back in it once again, fully. Look at that. You can see him oversteer the exit of turn 12, but carries the speed all the way through. It's a 32.1 as we head down towards the banking of turn 13, but does hit the wall. Maybe too much grip on the inside there as well, too much rotation, and unfortunately just had the wall, but luckily no further damage done as he got away with that one. Coming through turn 16 and turn 17, this chicane can be quite difficult as well. You've got to be precise through here and carry the speed as well, making sure you don't hit the wall on the inside or outside, and utilise the curb very nicely too, because sometimes the curb can put you off balance. Now through turn 21 and 22, this can be so difficult as well. It's just so easy to hit the wall on the inside too. You've got to flick the car in, carry the speed all the way through, and it's very important too because it leads up to a DRS zone. Headed down in towards turn 27, but we saw Max Verstappen hit the wall on the exit in the final corner, and as you can see, is in the middle of the road, doesn't really hug the inside curve that much or the apex. And now the DRS is enabled. Let's see what the first lap time is for Jensen as he crosses the line now. It's a 27.172. Not bad for a banker. Of course, he made a few mistakes. And look at that, rising start, only 0.08 of a second away from Jensen as well. So not bad of a lap time there from Rising Star, who missed, I think, the Bahrain Grand Prix. But he's back and he's here at his home at Grand Prix. Rising Star is a legend as well. Well known, a very nice character amongst the paddock as well. And he also, I think, he has helped quite a few people too. His teammate, Mr. Joker, unfortunately has invalidated there in somewhere across the lap. Expect plenty of invalidations as well. It's just such a difficult circuit, so I'm not going to be surprised if we see that many invalidations as well as we see more drivers on the lap. Dylan Vince, a Division 2 driver on his flying lap, as I think he's crashed. Yeah, he has. So Moenimo goes quickest by 1,000th of a second. Unbelievable. But Velocio Jr.'s crashed on turn 6. We were just on board with him. As the Ferrari gets out of the way, that is Moenimo who just crossed the line there. So the Brit is on pole by 1,000th of a second. And a track like this, where it's super difficult, 27 corners, and the walls are super close. The walls invite you, really, don't they? They invite you to crash. And to be that close is just outstanding. Unbelievable. Norris goes P4, Fireblade P5, President Lee goes P6 in the Aston Martin as we watch Jensen then crawl. And he's only fueled the car up for one lap, so That lap time was very crucial for him to get a bank on the board, because if he made a mistake on that lap time, he can't go for a second one and have to dive off into the pit lane. So let's see what MDJ does around the streets of Jeddah. Of course, a driver who has returned season 18 and has struggled as well previously in the races. And let's see what he does as he makes his way down into towards the final corner at turn 27. He scoops the car up, gets back on the throttle again, and let's see what the lap time is. Rewarded for MDJ. I really hope he does find his form. It's taken a long time, and still taking a long time too. It is a 28.690 as Glock there in the Sauber. I remember when it was Smithy, Glock, Harry Kane, I think MD. Oh, Glock's hit the wall! Glock has hit the wall at the exit of turn 4, but luckily got away with it. Well, he has broken his front wing, but luckily he could continue with the session now. So, very nervy time there for Glock, because I thought for 1 second he would lose his wheel, but he could still continue in his qualifying session. There is a Red Bull behind it, but I don't think the Red Bull is on the lap time. That is MDJ. But if I remember correctly, when it was both Williamses for MDJ and Rogue Smithy, Glock and Harry Kane, Laser as well, they all had a fierce battle in season 15 and 16. It was so good to watch as well. Yes, it got very hectic from time to time because Rogue Smithy, as his name is, Rogue, was very rogue on that day, and him and Glock don't get along. But yeah, it got a bit argy-bargy back then as well, and a bit of tense times between the two drivers. Let's see what Harry Kane does around here in Jeddah. Do you remember last race in season 17 when it was Ramavaj versus Brabit in the Kick Sauber? Remember that battle? Season 17, it was fantastic, and yes, there was so much contact going into towards the final corner at turn 27, but luckily for both drivers, they made it out unscathed despite Brabit having full wind damage, and they crossed the line with about 0.08 of a second, maybe less than that or more than that. And I think Ramavaj just pipped Brabit. Two amazing drivers, but unfortunately both have different commitments and can't make it here tonight, so that's why we don't see those two anymore. But here is our champion of SFR, two-time champion of SFR, Harry Kane, looking for glory this season, but hasn't found any just yet. In fact, his season has been full of struggles, it must be said. And him being back in McLaren like he was in season 15, I think McLaren was the team he started in when he was teammates with MDJ. That was a long time ago, but look at this. Through the curbs he goes. That's very nice, committed and planted there for Harry Kane. The car, I think this is the most comfortable I've seen Harry Kane so far this session, but of course it's too early to judge that as we head down in towards turn 27 for the Norwegian driver as he scoops the car very nicely back on the throttle without hitting the wall on the exit 2. DRS enabled as he takes the shortest distance towards line. It's a 27.400 and not a bad lap time there for Harry Kane. It's P4 for the McLaren driver. He's still getting to grips this season and still getting used to the handling the game and the car as well. It's taking more time than expected because Harry Kane, well, he has been a force to be reckoned with in the last few races and last few seasons, it must be said. But this season, it hasn't gone his way. I think he's taken some baby steps there for Harry Kane to try and get used to this game as well. It's just difficult. It is really difficult, this game as well. He is on a wheel, of course, so he doesn't have that disadvantage with the tyre life because people on the pad do struggle more on tyre life in comparison to people on the wheel as well. Adams, the former Division 2 driver, up towards Division 1, and it has been a struggle for him too this season. I remember him last season as well, taking wins, taking podiums. Another driver who has been demotivated, I must say. I know a lot of drivers have been demotivated, but I think they're racing for fun, you know what I mean? Because me, myself, I'm demotivated. I've only scored 1 point in the last, 9-10 races in my other league. I barely score points. I used to be a driver who used to fight for points and podiums. Wins and podiums, but it all went downhill. Rising star, flirting with the curve on the outside at turn 13. And unfortunately for him, that is the validation. But he was down anyway by 0.7 of a second there for the Saudi Arabian at his home Grand Prix. Still yet to win a Grand Prix, of course. His rising star has taken podiums, second best to his teammates in the past two. And it was him versus him and Kanaim in the Alpine, I believe it was last season too. But yeah, he's taken pole position before as rising star. His closest, I think the closest time he's ever won a Grand Prix or came close to winning a Grand Prix was back at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But Harry Kane took it away because I think he removed his penalty that day. But very competitive driver on his day. And when it all goes smoothly, he could definitely find himself getting this resource. Mo and Nemo are 10th up in the first sector. He is actually our championship leader. Jensen missing his lines there as well, so not consistent and fluent there is Jensen, but Mo and Nemo is absolutely flying so far. And I don't think we mentioned the championship standings just yet, as the Aston Martin flies off the track as well for good measure. Dylan Vince and President Elite are out there so far. The Swedish driver, well, both of them in Division 2. The President Elite, I think, has won back at the Chinese Grand Prix in Division 2. Let's see what Mo and Nemo does. A 10th up in the middle sector there. That's a mighty middle sector there as he uses the curb on the outside too. Just leans on it as he gets back in the power once again with the DRS open, headed down in towards turn 27 for Mo and Nemo. He hasn't picked up a win just yet this season, but still leading the championship by 1 point, I believe it is. It is. No, 4 points, so I think it just updated. I think I'm looking at the wrong thing. But here comes Mo and Nemo towards the line. He goes. It's a 26.8, and the first driver in the 26ers as Yarm goes up into P4 in the Mercedes. That was quite a while ago, but kudos to him. That's a very good lap time there, as well as the star just gets out of the way. Jensen has invalidated on his lap time. Norris is now making his way down towards turn 27. A race winner, a multiple podium sitter this season, a highly contender, but this track is not his favourite cup of tea at all, unfortunately. I think this track is his Achilles heel. He's quite weak around the circuit because it doesn't suit him. So I'm not quite sure how he'll perform in this race. And it's going to be super difficult for the power players around here. As Fireblaze goes up into P2, so displaces as President Elite scrapes the wall at the exit of turn 13. Did we see Yuki Tsunoda make a move down towards turn 13? And also Lawrence Stroll make a move in towards 13 as well. I think back in 2023 went around the outside of somebody, didn't he? That was a fantastic move for Lawrence Stroll on the first lap that day. As he comes towards turn 21, this is where Leclerc, Schumacher and Stroll crashed. Oh, Elite goes deep and he has spun the car and he saves it, luckily for him as well. So no damage there, but the damage in the tyres will be quite detriment for his run. Yusuf Farouk goes up into P7 in the Racing Bull there. A former Division 2 driver himself. But both Kick Sauber seem like they're struggling so far this session. Here's Glock, who had his moment through turn 4, but seems to have found a bit, or seems to found, let's see what he's found in the first sector. Oh, he's down, never mind. Then 2.5 seconds down in the first sector. We just saw Elite spin. MDJ is not on a lap time. Dylan Vince is now heading towards turn 22. I think he's definitely down on his lap time there. Is Dylan Vince. A race back towards the pit lane. So plenty of drivers out there struggling so far, including Villachamp Jr., who retired early doors in qualifying at turn number 5 or 6. It wasn't turn 4. And turn 4 can be a killer itself because many people before have hit the inside wall and lost their front left tyre, including me. And I saw it too in different leagues. It's just easily done. But Hurricane, let's go on board with him. The Norwegian driver headed towards 16 and 17. He goes. Let's keep it nice and tidy through here. He can't. Oh, bit of a moment there. Just a little bit of a wobble on out of 17 there, but shouldn't be too effective. And let's see what he does in this sector. The Norwegian cuts the beam. It's 3/10 up. Let's look at this. A mighty lap time, but still needs to find a bit more time in the final sector if he wants a chance of taking pole around here in the Red Sea of Saudi Arabia, or the Black Sea, shall I say, as he heads down towards turn 27, breaking at the 100 meter boards, scroll forward the speed, be very patient with the throttle because it's easily done to outdo yourself and lose traction. The DRS is wide open. Let's see what Hurricane could do. Is it return back towards the top? Not yet. It's P2 for Hurricane, and this is the Matthias we've been waiting to see for such a long time. It has taken a bit of a development for Hurricane to get himself well in contention because it hasn't really been great this season. 8 places, 10 places outside the top 10 for Hurricane this season, so it hasn't really been that spectacular. A DNF back at the Japanese Grand Prix. He finished 4th. That's his best result this season, ahead of Mo and Nemo, finishing 4th in the Chinese Grand Prix when Nico Rosberg, Jensen and Norris pulled away. And back at the Australian Grand Prix, finished in 10th place. So it hasn't been a superb start to the season for Hurricane. A DNS back at the Belgian Grand Prix. But is this a chance? Is this the resurgence? Is this the comeback for Hurricane? Can he change things as well? It'd be very important to see how he does. But Rising Star and Jensen, they're the two drivers who haven't set their better lap time on a second run. This is their third run now out of the pit lane. So let's see, can they make the run? I think Jensen, they both drivers have got it in them to do it, to perform and get the lap time. But it's all about finding the boundaries, push the limits of the track as well, not outdoing yourself, the car capabilities and yourself as well. It's easily outdone, especially a high pressure situation, because you're looking at your delta and it's fluctuating all the time in the red, in the green, and you're pushing a little bit extra to get yourself more margin over the rest of your field and your lap time too. It's always that mental state. It's always the mental state. But Jensen has definitely got the lap time, definitely got the pace, the car, and the setup, and the driver itself to do it. Rise to Star is on the lap time, so is Joram, and I'm going to go on board with him first. Nope, he's not on the lap time. So Rise to Star once again has become a bit of a cropper on his flying lap. Is this a second push lap or out lap, or is it a mistake? It's not a validation because there's no red zone. But we're flying on board with Joram as he heads to turn 13. Got to be very careful in between 12 and 13 because, you got to be very careful there too. I meant to say turn 10 and turn 11, and he was down in the first sector by a few hundreds, but what a shame there for Joram. Back on board Jensen. Here he is to turn 4, takes it very nicely, back in the power once again as he now makes his way through this first sector. Left, right, every single corner coming at you thick and fast. You've got to adapt to these situations very quickly. Through 11, through turn 12, lean on the exit on the outside, and let's see his purple sector. Let's see what it is. It's going to be a 31.1 or 9, shall I say. 1/10 up in the first sector. That's a mighty improvement, especially in the first sector too. But bearing in mind though, he did set his best lap time at the very beginning of the qualifying. So track evolution, driver confidence as well. A bit wide. A bit messy through 16 and 17, so it may cost him a little bit of lap time there for Jensen, but he still continues. Hopefully it hasn't affected him too much. Norders is on the circuit, he's just backed off. But let's see, he'll set a 10th up, but he has lost him. A bit of hesitation and just plays with channel limits, but he just misses turn 22. So a scruffy middle sector, a scruffy third sector, but let's see what he does in the final few corners. Well, final corner in turn 27, down to the gears he goes, in towards third, get the nose pointed in, a bit of oversteer the exit too. But let's see what lap time this is from Jensen as he makes his way towards the line. He goes, it's P3 for Jensen, and he out-qualifies Fireblaze, but Fireblaze is on a lap time. Moe Nemo, our championship leader and pole sitter, is out there so far as he swoops through this first sector. He goes down into 5th gear, back up to 6th. Look at that, maximising every single part of the racetrack as well. He is on fire so far. Ever since the first race of the season, he has been looking so good. Still yet to win though, but a podium sitter. Look at that, multiple steering adjustments too. In towards 13, down in the first sector by 700ths of a second as he continues through. 16 and 17 he goes, in towards 5th, hooking the inside curb. And let's see how he does. Very nice through there as well. Nice line, nice rhythm as he uses all that momentum on this short straight, heading towards 21 and 22 we go. Let's see if we'll set a 10th down. So has it been you know what? That's the same thing as Jensen has did. That is super fine margins to find as well. Just trying to use every single part of the racetrack because you think they're going to validate, but they don't. Somehow they keep at least a few centimeters on the track as he heads through turn 27. So I've not really seen many people take the inside of the curve too much as Rise to Star completes qualifying. Moe Nemo is back in the pit lane. Hurricane is not on a lap time and he is done. And where is Fireblaze? Fireblaze did not improve either. He invalidated. What a shame for Fireblaze as Yusuf Farouk. Do you know what? Many people in this qualifying session have invalidated. I can't find a driver who's on a lap time. And Glock hits the wall on the inside in towards turn number 27. And here comes Glock towards the line. Let's see what he could do in the Kickstarter as he takes the shortest distance up to 8th place ahead of Nordis in the Kickstarter, his teammate. Here comes Elite. Wobble on going out the final corner there for Elite as he tackles the car. Dylan Vins goes up into P11. Here comes Elite now towards line. He goes P6. That's a great effort. He started P4, I think, back at the Bahrain Grand Prix. And now he's P6. So once again, a great attempt there. But I think that's qualifying done and dusted. Look at the margins between these two. Hurricane and Jensen by 2,000ths of a second. And look at that, Rise of Star goes up into P2. And that is 7,000ths between second and third. This could set up an interesting race later on with a 25-lap race around here in Jeddah. I don't think I mentioned the championship standings just yet. So whilst we've got this null, I'll read it out to you right now. And the championship is that Mo Nemo is first with 92 points ahead of Jensen by 88. Fireblaze is P3 with 85 ahead of Lottie Jr. by 1.84. Nordis is fifth with 78 ahead of Glock, who moves up the order thanks to his fantastic podium at the Bahrain Grand Prix with 50 points. Samit in 7th place with 46. Rising Star P8 with 43. Hasn't scored in the last 2 races. Top 5 within 0.11. Yes, you are right, Fireblaze. Your mathematics are correct. What was I saying before? So Rising Star in P8 with 43. Aiden's P9 with 42. Ahead of MDJ. So let's see then. Yep, look at that. Fireblaze is right. First to fifth, under a tenth of a second. President Elite's 3/10 further back. But this is going to be set an interesting race because Moe Nemo and Rise Star, those two drivers are still searching for the first win of the season. Well, in their career, basically, because Rise Star hasn't got one yet in SFR just yet. I don't think he's won a race just yet this season, so he's still searching for that top spot of the podium. And so is Moe Nemo, our championship leader. Could this be a repeat of season 17 when the championship leader or the champion of season 17 only won one race, which was quite surprising in the end? I haven't even mentioned the statistics of this track just yet, but of course it was first introduced in 2021, but it was supposed to be introduced in 2020, but of course we had that COVID period. But 2021, when it first got introduced, wow, what a race that was. I think we had, what did we have? Safety cars, red flags, etc. as well. It was a chaotic event for a race, it was as well. And safety cars are definitely a chance of idea too. There was a few, I'm going to mention this as well, but not to be political about it, but there was a few questionable arguments about, there was a lot of criticism basically when it came to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, because the race has drawn rebuke from human rights organisations citing by the Saudi regime. But Formula One has responded by taking place in this race by its positive economic and social contribution as well. This track is going to be extended, I think, in the future as well. There's supposed to be a new race, a new circuit built in. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to pronounce it just in case, but it's near Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and it does look like a bit of a Mario Go-Kart track, like a theme park type thing as well, with like stories. And I don't think that'll be a great thing to have either, because imagine a crash there. It is all rumours, of course, but sometimes it can be true. Money talks, and Saudi Arabia do have a lot of it as well. But of course, when you have a track like these, you got to question it. But at the same time, though, it's a very good street circuit. I know we didn't have a lot of good racing back in 2025. I barely remember the Jeddah race this season. I remember 2021 and 2022 as well, when Leclerc and Verstappen fought out for the lead of the Grand Prix, and Verstappen won ahead of Leclerc too. But other than that, I don't really remember a lot. Verstappen had, I think, an alternator failure. Not an alternator failure. An ignition problem, I think, back in 2023 qualifiers. Started 10th, finished second, sorry. Perez won the race. Then there was Verstappen in second place. And Alonso P3, because Alonso had a penalty, did he, in 2023, but he got reinstated. He finished back up to P3 ahead of Russell at the time. But of course, where it's located in the Middle East, it is super hot. It is basically a desert, so it's very, very hot around here, and that's why we saw a lot of people struggle to overtake. Because even with the DRS zones, the DRS trades, etc., through the high speed, mid speed corners, the car and the aero, it just gets too hot, and it's just very insufferable to manage as well. But not a problem on this game, although the edges do get hot on this game. It is still a problem, but not as big as a problem as it is in F1. We talked about it in Qatar as well, because Qatar, they struggle to overtake despite it being a 1 kilometre straight. It's just so difficult. But if you watch MotoGP, My goodness me, the top 8 swap positions all the time because there's a massive battle going down towards turn 1. Even this year in MotoGP with Marc Marquez and Maverick Vinales and I think it was, who was it, Marco Bezzecchi, they were all scrapping over for first place. I do like Qatar, but in MotoGP terms, it's a fast-flowing circuit, but Saudi Arabia as well. Because Qatar was first introduced in 2004, the only Middle East, the only race in the Middle East is Qatar MotoGP, if you can believe it. But of course, I think we've got 4 races here in the Middle East in F1, Bahrain, Jeddah, of course, Abu Dhabi, and Qatar. Out of the 4, I say Jeddah first, Bahrain second, Qatar third. I don't know, Qatar second, Bahrain third, then Abu Dhabi last. I'm still not a huge fan of Abu Dhabi, despite the elevation changes, despite the characteristics of the track, etc. Despite all the modifications to it as well. I'm not really a big fan of it, to be honest with you. Never have been, never will be. But I do like Bahrain, I do like Jeddah, I do like Qatar. It's a 50-50 for me. Can't wait to get racing, when these guys get ready. But of course, first introduced in 2021, when we had multiple crashes, 2 red flags, and on-track coverage, with Verstappen's illegal overtake on Hamilton caused a collision and tyre penalty, and Verstappen won ahead of Hamilton won ahead of Verstappen, and Bottas third because Bottas pinched it from, who was it, Esteban Ocon at the time. And the race was held on Saturday, wasn't it? Instead of Sunday due to Ramadan, because Ramadan started in Bahrain and Jeddah. They both started the race on Saturday, didn't they? Not Sunday. And I forgot about that. Sometimes you do. But the most wins around here is Max Verstappen, with the formation lap is about to get underway very shortly, as the drivers set sail then to get temperature heat into their tyres and think about the start procedure. So majority on the mini compound tyres and a vast few on the hard compound tyres. So looks like those guys are going to go for the hard stint. Adams, Velocio Jr. and Dylan Vince, of course, we expect those guys to do it because they're outside the top 10. So going for the also strategy. We had no safety cars back in Division 2, but we had, I think, 1 or 2 in Division 3. Safety cars are prone and quite common around here, but we'll see what happens if it is quite common. Was there a safety car last season? I think there was, for unknown reason. I can't remember what it was called. I don't think we had a race around in Saudi Arabia last season. I think it was season 16. So I didn't think we had a race in Saudi Arabia last season. It was season 16. So my bad about that one. I get the seasons mixed up because lots happened since then. But last time we raced in Jeddah, it was Ramavad who won ahead of Babette, I believe it was. Morinimo maintained his lead going down towards turn 1. Rising Star does have the inside line, and like we've seen plenty of occasions on the inside, can be better and therefore take the lead of the Grand Prix. Can he capitalise? Can he get the jump he needs? We're about to find out very soon in this race. But guaranteed, are we going to see a new race winner? Because the top 3 haven't won a race this season. Jensen has. So the top 3, we haven't won a race yet this season. Harry Kane hasn't stepped to the podium either. Neither has Rising Star, I don't believe. But our championship leader definitely hasn't won a race yet this season either. But we're about to find out. I think Harry Kane's won here before. He's won here in season 15. Has Harry Kane, so he knows what it's like to win in Jeddah. But it was like 3 seasons ago, a whole year ago as well. My goodness me, that's a long time ago. I've been in SFR for almost 2 years now. It's just unbelievable how time goes super quick. As the 40 drivers made their way towards their start box. And let's see what happens going down in towards turn 1. Is it going to be a chaotic first lap? We're about to find out anytime soon. Wait for the lights on the gantry. Here we go. The lights are appearing on the gantry. 4, 5 lights. And we are underway here at Jeddah, and Rising Star gets a lightning start as he's side by side as we head in towards turn 1. There's contact, only minor though, but Moanimo gets ahead, has the inside line for turn 2 and stays ahead of Rising Star. That's a great start indeed to cover him off as Jensen gets ahead of Hurricane. He puts himself up into P3, and further behind we've got a few squabbles. A Glock and Yusuf go side by side off the track in towards turn 4. I think Yusuf Farouk beats the Sauber as he stays in P8 for the time being, as all 40 drivers make their way through the first sector we go. But Rising Star tried on the inside, but Moanimo placed his car beautifully to block past him and therefore have no advantage. We head down in towards turn 13, the braking zone, the bank corner. Hurricane seems like he's struggling so far, but early stages, maybe getting himself up to speed and try and get himself into a rhythm at this early part of the Grand Prix. It's very important as well in the DRS phase, settle into a rhythm. That's what you want to do. You don't want to scrap too hard if you can help it in the first half of the Grand Prix. You usually want to settle into a DRS range and settle into a rhythm very quickly as well. As Yaram there under massive pressure, there's no way. I thought for 1 second he might go down the inside, but he's compromised. He goes off the track, and therefore this will allow the racing ball of Yusuf to make a move. But Jensen's on the back of Rising Star. They go side by side, these two, as we head down in towards turn 17. I think these two are former teammates. I think they were. And now they're side by side, but Jensen goes all the way around the outside. Contact has been made, but luckily there's still enough room there on the outside. Otherwise both cars would have been in the wall together. But Jensen gets himself up into P2. That's a nice move already. As we head down in towards turn 1, there's people in the background moving out of the slipstream to see if they can overtake. There's side by side contact's been made between the two Kick Saubers and the Mercedes. The Mercedes getting bumped left, right and centre after he lost momentum in towards turn 21. That is Jaro, who seems to have a scruffy start so far towards the opening lap of this Grand Prix. He's down into P9, Glock's ahead of P8, Nordis is in P10 ahead of MDJ, and Veloci Jr. has made up 2 places. He's gone from P14 to P12 already in this Grand Prix, on the hardcore power tyres there as well, so going for a longer stint in comparison towards other people. But so far it's Moanimo who leads ahead of Jensen in P2. Jensen making moves, qualifying P4 up to P2, now ahead of Rising Star and Hurricane for P3 and P4. And let's see what happens then if Moanimo can control the pace. Can Jensen as well settle into a rhythm? DRS, of course, we all know it's a very powerful tool in this game. It really does help you, and without it you pretty much are vulnerable and screwed. But you see Rising Star just go out wide towards 21 and 22. Glock and Yarn are swapping places in turn 21 and turn 22. Here comes the other Kick Sauber, forcing his way through. He's up into P9, and now Paulson and his teammate, will he go for an overtake or will he just stay behind him for the time being? He opts to stay behind him. It's a good move because he doesn't want to go side by side and lose even more time. They want to stay in the DRS train of the guys ahead too. So it's Jensen who seems like he's got the better pace and the upper hand. Here he is as we head down in towards turn 1. Moanimo covers the threats of Jensen as we head down towards turn 2. Nordis gets ahead of his own teammate, or Glock. Are they side by side? No, but Glock is under pressure from the Mercedes. Oh, spinner! That is Mr. Joke who's gone for a spin, but here comes Mercedes Yoram side by side with Glock as we head down towards turn 4. Neither driver willing to yield and pay the consequences of that one, unfortunately, as Glock is off the track. And here comes Mercedes up to the inside too, as we see Adams goes up into P11, but that's not a place you want to go side by side. Ask Pierre Gasly, and who's that going past? It's Veloci Jr. Did he overtake when yellow flags were out there? I think he did. Oh, what a shame there. That yellow flag unfortunately has cost him dearly after he has to give up the places he made. But yeah, what I'm talking about, Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda back in 2024, and Sebastian Vettel versus Kimi Räikkönen in 2021, I think it was, when those two made contact in towards turn 4. Not a place you want to go side by side. I've not really seen any successful moves there, because one driver is bound to go off the track. It's such a sharp corner, and there's no room to go side by side there as well. So I think it's down to the drivers to see who backs out and who doesn't. And one of you, or not both of you, will pay the price for it too. As we head down in towards turn 27, we go. It is Moanimo who still leads. Jensen's right behind in P2. Rising Star's P3. It's been a great aggressive start so far from Jensen in P2, made up the places, and now he's in the best seat in the house in P2 because he can control this race, he can manipulate this race in second place and control it how he likes. As Burmeister is in the chat, as he says hello. Uchatet, Burmeister, hopefully you're recovering very well. I know you broke your ankle. Oh, off goes the track, MDJ, and Glock gets ahead of Adams and Veloci Jr. as well. Looking in the background, he did the also strategy, didn't he, back in Bahrain? and I don't think it worked out for him that much as MDJ picked up a 3-second time penalty in this Grand Prix. I think Velocio Jr. finished in P7 or P8 because he was fighting with Hurricane, but the alternate strategy wasn't really working, and MDJ as well picking up more penalties in this Grand Prix, and off goes the Kick Sauber in turn 13 as well. So a lot of drivers flirting with the track limits, and that's what we expected to see in this Grand Prix as well. It's all about consistency. It's all about who can minimise those penalties, because that'll pay dividends for the race later on in the Grand Prix. We talk about safety cars. Recovering with a brace now. Tested yesterday, but cannot last more than 15. That's what she said. Never mind. Yeah, let me just read that comment out again. Recovering with a brace now. Tested yesterday, but cannot last more than 15 minutes. Guess I'm back in 2-3 weeks. Yeah, take your time, Burmeister, our Div 2 champion. And here comes Jensen up the inside in towards turn 20. Oh, he breaks himself. He goes off the track. He's off the track fully. What's happened there? The car just wouldn't turn in. That's such a bizarre moment for him. The car wouldn't turn, and he couldn't go full lock. Oh, what a shame for Jensen. Was that a wheel issue? Jensen definitely doesn't have these sort of issues. It's not a driver issue, surely. Maybe the car wouldn't go full lock. What a massive shame there. And this, has huge, massive lock up towards turn 1. This could bite him back in the championship as well. Every single race matters this season because the championship is so close, and mistakes like these could have huge consequences for the later on the Grand Prix as well. He has a massive moment out of turn 4 too. He has picked up dirt on the tyres as well. The tyres may be overheated too, but he just wouldn't turn at all. Maybe he had a problem braking too because the car wouldn't slow down either. But Moanimo, of course, about to be overtaken. Now he has a smile on his face because he knows that Jensen's down to P8 and has a lot of work to do as well. Jensen was looking so comfortable. He made the move up towards turn 27 and sustained I'm going to say wheel issue because that's definitely not a Jensen issue, surely not. It looked so weird because it looked like it was about to make the corner, then just the car wouldn't stop and the car wouldn't turn either. They just went straight on. So unfortunately Jensen has rejoined the P8. He's right behind the Mercedes job. How quickly can he dispatch these cars? He does have the pace, but the question is though, can he get towards the top of the field again? It might be a bit difficult. The top 4 can stretch away because he's lost a huge amount of time. Here he is on the Mercedes. He puts himself up into P7 ahead of the Mercedes driver. He's got some clean air in front of him, luckily. The gap is 3.9 seconds. And luckily for him, the guys in between are not within DRS range of each other. So it might be a bit easier for him to catch up. It's going to be a bit of a tall order and difficult because bringing a gap down like that takes a lot of skill. And you've got to be on it every single lap, hit it every single apex, carry the speed through, brake at the right time, get it back on the throttle at the right time. You've got to have that level of consistency and the level of pace every single lap without putting a foot wrong as well. You can be pushing so hard in the Alpine to get back up there, but it's going to be quite difficult because these guys have the DRS on each other, so therefore could pull away. But what a shame for Jensen as well. If it does bite him back in the championship, then it's one of those moments where you think, yeah, it shouldn't have happened, but it has. I'm not quite sure if it was a driver error or not. It could have been still. Could have been a driver error, whether he just broke too hard and the car just won't turn in, etc. Maybe just lock the front up. Just plainly lock the front up. You never know. It could be just a driver error too, but it's not something we see from Jensen, especially like that. He's very good at late braking, very good at overtaking indeed. As the top, rising star there goes off the track in between 21 and 22. So lucky to escape the walls indeed. But let's see the top 4. This is interesting, because the top 4 in this Grand Prix, MDJ has tumbled down the order. There he is, the Dutchman goes for a spin. But the top 4 in this race, they haven't won a Grand Prix just yet this season, none of them. I can comfortably, I can comfortably say as well. So the top 4 still searching for the first win of the season. Which one of these 4 is it going to be? It's going to be so interesting because they've got a lot to prove. Championship leader Moanimo, who just made his rookie season this season as well in SFR Division 1. And unexpectedly, I dare say, takes the championship lead. But Nico Rassenberg is a reserve driver, so he's not really classified in the standings. But Moanimo has taken podiums this season. He had a difficult race back in Bahrain this season, didn't he? He just dropped backwards in the race. I think he pitted very early in the Grand Prix, just dropped backwards and just tumbled down the order. But picked a podium to Japan, Belgium and Australia. He's picked up 3 podiums so far this season. But he's on course. Well, not on course just yet, but he's in the lead of the Grand Prix. He's controlling the race, but he knows the guys behind are playing a long, patient waiting game. These guys are very calculated and methodical in terms of the way they think. They know not to pounce each other every single lap. So there's no point fighting each other every single lap and therefore lose a lot of time towards the guys behind. This first stint is all about managing and build up a gap as much as you can towards the guys behind. And then the fight comes towards in the Grand Prix or in the middle of the stint as well. That's when the drivers decide to fight. I think these guys are quite comfortable just following each other in this DRS train. But of course, when the laps tick by, I wonder who will suffer first in terms of tyre wear. Because tyre wear is quite high around here in Jeddah, of course. No brainer. It is a medium high-speed circuit on the throttle majority of the time as well. But I wonder when the pit stops will start happening. These guys don't want to pit too early just yet because they don't want to compensate too early later on in the Grand Prix. As we see some battles going down in the midfield. This is the Sauber of Bonolus, who gets ahead of first of Elite up into P5, then just further behind Glock and Veloci Jr. go for a fight towards turn 1. Glock drifting his Sauber in towards turn 1 there as Mercedes of Yoram struggles for traction at turn 2. As we head up towards turn 4 we go. It's very easy to chip the inside wall, but look at that. Mo and Nemo has built up a gap of 1.1 seconds. Don't be crazy. You don't want to be going for a move, especially at this part of the track, because it's just suicide, really, to go for a move, unless you're fully ahead or have a if the door's really open. But Harry Kane, right, the DRS has been broken. He needs to get past Rise of Star. This has been the Achilles heel for Rise of Star. Tyre wear has been a massive issue for Rise of Star for such a long time. He can't make them work, and he drops off the pace dramatically all the time. And he's fell victim to it once again, unfortunately, as the Racing Bull driver. So he can fall backwards in the clutches, because look who's behind us as well. You can see him really struggling. He has no forward momentum. He's sliding through the corners, and now Harry Kane has been relinquished up into P2, and Rise of Star once again falls foul. It's so frustrating. I know it is for a driver like Rise of Star, because he's super quick, but I say it every single race. Tyre wear and longevity is the Achilles heel for him, unfortunately. And here comes Fireblades. It's very important for him to get past 2. He can't afford to be stuck behind him, because if he knows what he's seen in front of him struggling to the high-speed corners, it's going to slow him down and lose the DRS towards Harry Kane. Now they're through, up into second place and third place. What can Harry Kane do towards Mo and Nemo? Has Mo and Nemo got the pure pace to stay over 1 second? Harry Kane, no. Goes off the track towards turn 4. And this is the problem, because when the drivers start to put the DRS and build a gap in front of them, the drivers behind start pushing really hard and make mistakes as well, because they are desperate to bring that gap down. So that's why you see these mistakes creeping in every now and then, especially down at turn 4. These guys, look at Harry Kane through turn 13, just too wide through there. And you definitely see he's just trying to push on old tyres as well. 8.4 mini compound tyres. It's not going to pay him any dividends either to try and get himself up towards Mo and Nemo. He's taking a little bit of time. It's like a yo-yo. It's like a fruit machine. Just it always fluctuates up and down every single time. There's never like a stable moment. Harry Kane finds moments here. He finds time there, here and everywhere, but he just loses it as well because he's trying to push the extra bit hard to bring the gap down. And also as well, when you've been released from the car behind, you don't have a reference point, because when you lost the DS towards somebody, you use them as a reference point and a guider as well to when to brake and accelerate, because you're not on the throttle, because this is raw pace now. Now Harry Kane doesn't have the DRS behind somebody, he can't use them as a guider and brake a bit earlier too, and have the DRS drag himself along with the other guy ahead of him. This is just raw pace now. The gap's 1.6 at the end of lap 10 because Mo and Nemo is doing such a fantastic job. We've got a big battle. Jensen's pitting. Jensen's pitting on lap 8 or 9, sorry. And here comes Glock on the back of the Mercedes driver, puts himself up to P7 ahead of the Mercedes. And here comes the Ferrari down the inside in towards turn 1. It's a late move. And there's contact, barely the space given between the two. More wheel banging there between the Mercedes and the Ferrari, but the Ferrari should have better traction on the hard compound tyres. And this is where somebody needs to back out. And oh, he goes off the track. Does Bluship Jr. and also the Mercedes of Yoram almost lose the car in towards turn 4. So Jensen has rejoined in P12. It's lap 10 out of 25, so 15 laps on the hard compound tyre should be doable and have no problem going towards the end of the Grand Prix. Although might have to pay the price back later on in the Grand Prix. Depends how good his tyre management is. That's the problem as well, because Hurricane finds himself under massive pressure from Fireblaze, because he wants to try and get towards Mo and Nemo. Maybe the undercut is the only way forward now. I think these two might have to focus on the undercut and get themselves back towards Mo and Nemo, because the undercut can be quite powerful around here. A big undercut. So I wonder if it's in the back of their minds, should they do the undercut and maybe have to pay the price later on the Grand Prix? Let's find out if they do pit, and they do pit, both of them too. So I predicted it right here. I'm on point tonight as Hurricane and Fireblaze are in the pit lane. It is 80 kilometers an hour, and they adhere to the pit lane speed limiter here. So we've got majority of drivers in the pit lane to get off those mini compound tyres, put a set of hards on, and they should go towards in the Grand Prix, should no problem. So Mo and Nemo first place as Glock gets a penalty for exceeded track limits. But Mo and Nemo should definitely respond this lap. Depends if he wants to try and extend or not, and have better tyres, have an offset towards in the Grand Prix. So will Mo and Nemo think about that, having a tyre offset, because that can really help as well. At the same time though, it can be very difficult because the undercut is very powerful, so therefore you lose a lot of time. And if you have like a 2 or 3 second, or if you're 3 or 4 seconds back but have a 2 or 3 offset tyres, then it might be a bit difficult to bring the gap down. I didn't really explain that, right? So let me explain it again. So if you stay there for like 2-3 laps extra and have the offset tyres towards in the Grand Prix, let's say for example you're like 3-4 seconds back but have like 3-4 laps extra fresher tyres, then you might be able to get it. Depends how good your pace is in clean air, but we'll see how it happens. But Fireblaze has rejoined behind the Aston Martin Dylan Vince, but Hurricane gets past very quickly indeed. No hassle through there. Oscar Piastri type move, well not really, but Oscar Piastri overtook Hamilton there this year in 2024. He's got a bit of a train ahead of him as Hurricane. This should be easy to dispose, but you've got to be very careful when you're fighting people on older tyres. Here comes the Ferrari down the inside in towards turn 27. That's a neat move there from Velocev Jr. But he's been stuck in this before pack on people on the mini compound tyres. Blocks in the pit lane, and so not is Yoram. He stays up there for one more lap. But this should be interesting. Where is Mo and Nemo going to rejoin? Here he is out of the pit lane. There's loads of cars flying past the main straight as we head down in towards turn 1. He's rejoined in P6, 7. Here comes Aston Martin. Oh, super close to contact there. But Mo and Nemo, that is very crucial. That is super crucial, you know. That's perfect timing. Not to get stuck behind Dylan Vince, because if you're stuck behind Dylan, you're going to lose loads of times just like this. He is very lucky not to get stuck behind Dylan Vince, because that could have been painful through sector 1 as Jensen is feeling. Jensen needs to get past him right now. He's a bit of an obstacle in the way, isn't he? Is Dylan Vince in the Aston Martin. Hurricane on Adams, but I want to watch Jensen around the outside. It's a decent move there. Oh, Adams is really struggling there as Fireblaze takes advantage and he puts himself up into P3. And Dylan Vince has been pushed backwards down the order too, for good measure. Now Mo and Nemo has to get past Adams. He should be able to do it with the better tyres and raw pace. And he does. DRS wide open, no hassle. And he puts himself up into P4. So the top 4, there's a Ferrari in the way, but he's on older tyres. So the Ferrari shouldn't be a problem. Although Velocev Jr. may help his teammate, because they do work together. So I don't think he can do much on older tyres. No, he can't. Hurricane gets past him easily. Just breezes past the Ferrari driver. As we head down towards the final corner, Fireblaze needs to overtake him too for good measure. He can't afford to get stuck behind him. He's got to make the overtake happen now in towards turn 1, because if he doesn't, he's himself could be stuck behind him in the first sector. The Ferrari though is use this battery to stick with Hurricane and stay ahead of Fireblaze, make his life harder. And you know what? That's not ideal for Fireblaze at all, because in the first sector, Velocev Jr. has been very slow with the older hard compound tyres, and this is a chance for Hurricane to break the DRS, and he's certainly doing that. The gap is over a second there, so Fireblaze he had to overtake the Ferrari driver in towards turn 1, but obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing, and plus the Ferrari was using his battery too, maybe helping his teammate Mo and Nemo out as well for good measure. It is so frustrating when you're a driver on new tyres, seeing the leader or seeing the guy ahead of you on the same age of tyres, you're fighting the same race, pull away. It is so frustrating to see that. Obviously Velocev Jr. is not obliged to get out of the way. He can do whatever he wants, as long as he doesn't really do anything crazy or silly. He can do whatever he wants, of course. No blue flags, it's pure racing, and it's helping his teammate out too for good measure. And the Fireblaze finally goes through, And they should do a swap. They should do a swap. Oh, it's side by side. Not ideal there. As Mo and Nemo goes up into P3 ahead of his teammate. And here comes Jensen now on the back of the Ferrari 2 as he goes up into P4. Nice recovery drive from Jensen, you know. He was way further back. And now he's in this pack once again. So when he overtakes somebody, I hope he doesn't outbrake himself again. He's back in the fight. But yes, he does have older tyres. But the undercut has certainly worked in his favour. The top 4 back where they were at the start of the Grand Prix. The difference is, though, it's Fireblaze who doesn't have the DRS of Hurricane. Can Hurricane, he has won here in Season 15 at the Jeddah Grand Prix. Can he do it again? He hasn't been in the lead of a Grand Prix since last season. It's been such a long time since Hurricane has won. The pressure is on for the young Norwegian driver. Mo and Nemo, interestingly, can't stay in DRS range of Fireblaze. Wow, that's quite an interesting factor there as well. He's on younger tyres, of course, and he's struggling to stay in DRS range. Maybe he made a mistake. I don't think he's struggling. Maybe he just made one mistake in towards the first sector, and that's why he dropped backwards. Didn't see the mistake, of course, but it is costly for him. And Bolashir Jr. is right behind or right in front of Rising Star. Rising Star was a contender, but unfortunately, Tyre Life has defeated him once again. He pulls out the way, so that's a nice gesture there for Bolashir Jr. Goes up into P5. And Nordus is the next target as well. Oh, it goes almost off the track. Just keeps it in the track limits there. Does Rising Star. And next target is Nordus. Here he comes then with the DRS wide open. And he puts himself up into P6, maybe P5 if he fancies to move the inside. He does. Is it 2 for 1? It's not. It's not 2 for 1 just yet. I'll tell you what though, Nordus has got some decent pace because a P5 finish will be quite handy for him indeed. His pace has been mighty. Jensen gets past the Ferrari driver. He puts himself up into P3. Now, can both RP drivers chase down Hurricane? McLaren versus Alpine. And I wonder which one of the two will come out top. Maybe Jensen and Fireblaze could trade DRS and catapult each other as well. Trade DRS and get closer towards Hurricane, because that is a factor sometimes used, and we saw it back in the Australian Grand Prix in Division 2. Who was it? It was Jean who was leading, then it was Bear Remy in P2, and no, it wasn't Bear Remy, sorry. It was Lord Danny Boy and somebody else. They were trading DRS and they caught up to the leader as well. But unfortunately didn't overtake him because it was last up the Grand Prix. It was a bit too late. The gap's 2 seconds, so Hurricane is actually extending his advantage towards Fireblaze. Do you know what? A Hurricane victory is something I want to predict tonight, honestly. I'll tell you that for now. I wasn't expecting a Hurricane victory. He used to only have one win this season, back in Abu Dhabi. The only race he's won last season was Abu Dhabi. And that was a long time ago in season 17 as well. 3 podiums last season too. And who's retired? Rising Star is out of the race and a safety car has been deployed. A safety car as Rising Star is in the middle of the racetrack. And now let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in this race. 10 laps left to go. And Rising Star is out of the Grand Prix. What a shame, what a shocker. And Jensen has the double stack. What a shame for him too. Jensen has got to do the double stack. And that's what also happens too when you make the mistake going down towards turn 27. All these things buy you back, unfortunately. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. It's just racing. You never know when the dice rolls. The pendulum can swing anybody's way. And Jensen made a mistake himself. And let's see if Nordus gets ahead. Does he? Gets ahead? He does, yeah. Nordus gets ahead of Jensen. He goes up into P4. This should be an interesting race towards the end. But crucially, Mo and Nemo has stayed out on the old hardcore pod tyres. Hurricane's on new mediums. Fireblaze is on hardcore pod tyres, new hards. He's done the harder strategy as you get medium, hard, hard. And Volchev Jr. is on medium. Do you know what? The Ferrari driver of Volchev Jr. has been benefited. He has been benefited. He's back in the equation and he's jumped Jensen. So 2 cars have jumped Jensen and he's been shuffled back into P6. But on for an interesting race towards the end, an interesting climax towards the Grand Prix. So don't go anywhere. This should be an interesting fight for the end of the Grand Prix. This safety car has really galvanised things in this race, really twists, and there's more turns left in this Grand Prix. Mo and Nemo could be under massive pressure later on, obviously, because he's on the old hardcore power tyres. But once the safety car is out, I'll take a short break because I've been talking without drinking. So let me just have a quick sip. The safety car is in at the end of this lap. Very late call because we're just at the final corner. So I wonder if Dylan Vince called it very late. But here we go. This should be an interesting fight to the end. In the heat of the desert here in Jeddah. Let's see where Moenimo decides to go. Tiptoeing his way around, and off we go for the restart here in Jeddah. And let's see who's got a line of stars. Cadillac reactions as Jensen side by side as we head in towards turn one we go. The Alpine versus the Ferrari as we head down towards the first corner. It's a late move from the RB. There's contact between the Alpine and the Ferrari as we see Jensen trying to go all the way on the outside. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. He's up. It's a P5 ahead of the Ferrari, and that's not good news if you're Bloodshed Junior, because he's on the medium compound tyres, the faster compound at this stage of the Grand Prix. So that's not what you want at all. You'll be looking to go forwards rather than backwards, and unfortunately he went backwards on the restart down to P6, and now Jensen is on the back on Nordis. And let's see when Hurricane can pounce on Moenimo with those better medium compound tyres. And Moenimo will be the cork in the bottle here, unfortunately for him, being the slower driver in front of him. He'll be dropping down maybe like a sack of stones, unfortunately for him. And when can Hurricane get past as well? Wait for the DRS on the next lap. More safer, more wiser option. He's got Fireblades and all as well behind too for good measure. And Jensen's there creeping in P5 as well. I would really love for Matthias to win a Grand Prix this season. I really would, but he's got a lot of work to do. We've got the ferocious Fireblades right behind in P3. Fireblaze hasn't won a Grand Prix since season 16 back at the Mexican Grand Prix. It's been a long time since he's won, and Jensen's on the back of Norris as we head down towards turn 27 as they move for the lead. Hurricane's up into first place, and here comes is that going to be contact? It's super tight, but Jensen is up the inside of Norris as he puts himself up into P4, and here comes Fireblaze immediately on the Ferrari as we head down in towards turn 1. Got to make the move immediately as we head down towards the first corner. The Ferrari trying to stick it there on the outside as we have the inside line, but Fireblaze has better traction on those medium hot compound tyres. And now here comes the Alpine of Jensen looking for a move, but can't find a way past. For the time being, as he stays at P4, he's stuck behind the Ferrari as well. Desperate to try to get past, but the Ferrari is holding the first set. So the Ferrari has kept his ERS in none for the whole of the first sector as well. That's going to slow down and maybe out of the DRS range too. But Fireblaze versus Hurricane for the lead of the Grand Prix. And Jensen's just behind in P4 too, who had his early struggles in the Grand Prix. If he wins this race, Jensen, that'll be an absolute miracle for him after what happened. Not miracle, but yeah, an absolute drive for him after what happened to him as well. Don't forget he had issues of his own when he outbroke himself in towards turn 27. And Moe Nemo does not have the DRS on the back of Fireblaze 2, so it's very important now for Jensen to get past Moe Nemo as we head through turn 21 and a turn 22. And if you're at DRS range, it's just super difficult to get yourself back in it. Moe Nemo's been in harvesting mode. In fact, he's used a lot of his ERS and he's got no defense, and he puts himself over to P3. There he is, and here comes the orders on the Ferrari 2 as we head down in towards turn 27, side by side in towards the breakers. There we go. We're super close to the exit. Let's see if Norris can get the traction around the outside to get him down the straight as we head towards the start for the straight. DRS enabled for the kick Sauber as he puts himself up into P4. Very crucial move now. It could be a fight for the podium between Jensen and Norris as we head down towards the first corner. But Fireblaze is right at the back of Hurricane. These two have got something to prove. It's been a long time since they've both won a Grand Prix. And Jensen has already won this season. But I'm sure Fireblaze will be desperate for his first win since Mexico season 16. That's a long time ago. That was last November, I think it was. Or I think it was October, November, somewhere around there. But Jensen's not going to give up yet either in P3. It's going to be a fight for attrition towards the end of the Grand Prix. Jensen is in a championship fight against Moe Nemo. So all these guys got something to prove here. The top four of the championship have got podiums or a win this season. But our championship leader, Moe Nemo, has made the wrong call. And now he's in the clutches of his own teammate. So both of them, unfortunately, well, Veloci Jr.'s benefited a lot, but Moe Nemo has dropped down dramatically. And what it looked like to be a comfortable race for him, he's dropped to P5 and now off the podium as well, off the chance for a race win, and out of DRS range almost towards the top four. There's yellow flags for some reason somewhere. Can't get rid of that yellow flag graphic. So how does this race play out now with Fireblaze and Jensen? What are Alpine going to do? They're both in a championship fight. I say that I think that Jensen's won a championship fight compared towards Fireblaze. And here he is down towards turn 1, but it's a dummy move in towards the first corner. Just puts him off balance for the time being. Waiting patient in the background, but Jensen is waiting patient in the background too in third place. This is going to be an epic fight for first, second and third. Two teammates versus Hurricane. But which one of these guys are going to come out on top? Don't forget, Norris has run a superb race in P4. Was disadvantaged in the first lap when he dropped down into P10, I think it was. Then made his way up to the order very nicely as well, as Veloci Jr. gets a 3-second time between. Moe Nemo is outside the DRS range there, so he's dropped out of it. And his gamble stay out there on old hard compound tyres unfortunately hasn't paid dividends for him, and he's cost himself a podium and a win too. You always want to pit, no matter where you are, you always want to pit onto a new set of hards or mediums, but by doing that strategy has really cost him as well. And now the pendulum is swung towards Jensen's way in the championship, because Jensen could take over the lead. You know what, Jensen and Fireblaze are 3 points apart. This is a super close championship between two Alpine drivers. They're leading constructors. Ferrari are second, not far behind though, by 7 points. But Alpine will gain a lot of points on Ferrari today because Ferrari have bought the strategy. like they do in real life. Not quite sure who's on the strategy wall for that one, but Moe Nemo unfortunately will have to pay the price as we head down towards turn 1. I think Fireblaze is being very smart, being very patient, being coordinated. And here comes Mr. Joker side by side in towards turn 1 against Moe Nemo. He puts himself up to pieces. That's a lovely move. And he's on the back of his old teammates in the Racing Bull. These two used to be teammates in Racing Bull, but they made contact in Abu Dhabi. They put each other in the wall at turn 5. They weren't friends as teammates, they were enemies. They had no correlation with each other at all, no harmony between the two. But I wonder how it would be on the circuit. Because Yusuf Farouk was friends with Yusuf Shabek. and those two were close friends. And then they transferred mid-season. Those two did, Mr. Joker and Yusuf Shabak. They get quite confused at time to time, but enough of that. Go towards the top four because this is tantalising close between these four. Any of these four could win the Grand Prix. It is super tight, like it is at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix all the time. Every single time. I think a Kick Sauber's won already this season, this race, back in Division 2. It was Atlas Copa, I think, in the Kick Sauber who's won already. But Jensen can sense weaknesses on Fireblaze. Come on, Fireblaze, fight it. Don't let him go. You need your first win. I want to see a fight. I want to see a good fight between these three. As we head down towards turn 27, we go. And Fireblaze being forced into a move against Hurricane. As we head towards the final corner, there's contact. And Jensen goes deep as well. Jensen goes very deep like he did. And Nordis too. The top four get themselves in a bit of bother as well as we head down towards turn 1. Jensen is putting his team under massive pressure as we head down towards turn 1 we go, but Fireblaze sustains the threat from his own teammates. I'm very nervous as well. Even though I'm not racing, I am super nervous. Oh, these two get themselves a bit of bother too as they go side by side as Velocity Junior lets him go as Mr. Joker's up into P5 now, ahead of the Ferrari driver. Well, that was Jensen's first attempt to overtake Fireblaze, but Fireblaze responded and he stayed behind Hurricane. That's what he wants to do because these guys, they want to be second on the last lap of the Grand Prix. That's what they want to do, to get the DRS in the back of him and overtake him on the last lap of the Grand Prix. But for some reason, Jensen has difficulty in the final corner. He's saved up a lot of battery. Hurricane hasn't. Well, he has actually, but Fireblaze needs to save up more battery as well. Needs to be more conservative. It is what, an oxymoron? You need to push as hard as you can, but save. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? You gotta be so calculated. You gotta be 100% focused at all time and reactive. And yeah, you gotta be on it at every single moment because anything could change in the Grand Prix. It's a high-speed game of chess, and it certainly is around here in the streets of Saudi Arabia. But Fireblaze is up into first place ahead of Hurricane. And let's see what happens down towards turn 1 because Hurricane will get the DRS on the back of Fireblaze. And Jensen should have the DRS on the back of Fireblaze too. But here we go then. Here comes Hurricane on the mini compound tyres. Here comes Jensen. We're 3 abreast as we head down in towards turn 1. The McLaren on the inside there as Hurricane led the brakes. Jensen side by side. But Hurricane swoops on the outside, takes the lead, and he blocked past him. He doesn't allow it through, doesn't get the switch back in towards turn 2. Hurricane was in the middle of the track there. In the middle of both of them, sorry. But well defended from Hurricane, but of course he's not in the right spot. And Fireblaze, come on man, I really hope he has a chance of getting back Jensen as well. It makes it seem like I'm biased, but I'm not. I really want him to win a race. It's not just this league where he struggles to win a race, it's every league he's been in. That's what I mean. 3 or 4 different leagues and he's always second and third, always. And that's why I want him to win so much. And I've never been so compassionate about someone winning a race, you know what I mean? Every single time you think there's hope, but it just falls away. Hasn't fallen away just yet, but it's the penultimate lap. And once again, Jensen is in the best seat of the house. And Fireblaze, well, he ain't going to be happy again. And he's going to be on the threat from Nordis. He needs to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more calculated. And yeah, just needs to find something to overtake and stay. Well, I'm not quite sure what he needs to do actually, but here comes Jensen and Hurricane then as we head down towards turn 27. Well, of course, Jensen's not going to go for the overtake here. He's going to just sit behind and wait patiently. This could be a drag race down towards turn 1, but of course, Jensen should have the advantage with the DRS open. Can Hurricane defend this as we head down towards turn 1? He's gaining. Can he go on the inside as we head down towards turn 1? No, he doesn't. He stays behind. Maybe waiting for the final lap. Well, it is the final lap, but turn 27 is where he's going to wait. That's the main point. So Hurricane has got to save a battery on this lap. He knows that Jake's going to go for it down towards turn 27, and this could be a last lap battle, last corner battle, like it was in season 17, Ramavaj versus Brabbit. Could be a repeat of that. I think Hurricane's really struggling there on the old mini compound tyres. Remember, he picks up for medium, so he's struggling there on the graded tyres. He might suffer towards in the Grand Prix. He might suffer in the last sector as well with traction. That could be there. Oh, Jensen, massive snap there. And Fireblaze could be edge forwards. Fireblaze got to be aggressive. Get his elbows out for once. He's like a Fisichella towards Alonso, is Fireblaze. Or Barrichello towards Schumacher. But Jensen's surely not going to go for it this time. Is he? No, I didn't think so. as we head through turn 21 and turn 22 we go. Here we go with the DRS wide open. Jensen surely should make this move at turn 27. Hurricane covers him as Jensen goes around the outside. As we head towards the final corner, nothing that Hurricane could do unless he gets a switch back with the DRS on the straight. No, he can't. As we exit the final corner, as we make our way towards the line, Jensen wins the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix ahead of Hurricane and Fireblaze in P3, ahead of Nordis as well. What an epic race that was. And Yusuf finishes P5 ahead of Mo and Nemo, Glock in P7 ahead of Yarum, President Elite in P9, and Flotchev Jr. P10. Once again, it's another flop from Fireblaze. Could have won, but just wasn't aggressive enough, unfortunately. Is that going to be the story the whole time when there's a big chance of winning, but you just don't seem to grab it by both hands? But I think for sure it's a disappointing one for Fireblaze. Well, that's the end of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Top three have joined the podium interviews, and we'll start from Fireblaze upwards. Fireblaze, another P3. And yeah, how do you feel?
What was the question? Sorry.
How do you feel about another P3?
Well, yeah, P3 is good, I guess, but just kind of disappointed at the fact that I, of course, got P3 at the end. I would have liked to have been maybe P1. But yeah.
Or could you have done differently?
I don't know, mate. Maybe tried to be a bit more aggressive going into the last corner instead of trying to go into the first corner. I have no clue what I could have done better, to be honest.
Yeah, just unlucky once again, mate. Just a bit too far back, really. Another good podium for you, but just a bit too far away once again, unfortunately.
Yep.
How do you feel for the Italian Grand Prix?
The Italian Grand Prix, so Monza, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, it's usually quite a good track for me, so hopefully I'm competitive again.
We'll see what happens there, mate, but thank you very much, and congrats for P3.
Thank you.
Moving on to second place, Hurricane. We've returned to the podium once again. One fantastic race from you, and you could have done without that safety car, couldn't you? Because that stint on the hardcore power tyres, you're bridging the gap towards Fireblaze. It stayed consistently around 2 seconds, and you were pulling away from Fireblaze and just the time as well. So, how did you feel when that safety car came out?
Yeah, I was a bit gutted when the safety car came out, but I knew that I had good pace. Maybe not the fastest on track, but I knew that I would be able to at least fight for the podiums and the win. Unfortunately, I didn't go for the harder strategy because I spoke with Vollakongen on before the race, and he said it's the mediums. So I think I would have maybe had a better chance on the victory if I had gone for the harder strategy.
Step by step, really, mate, because of course you haven't scored a podium just yet this season. Now this is your first podium this season in Saudi Arabia, the track you won out of season 15. And does this improve and boost your confidence now? Because obviously in the last few races you were a bit of a downer and struggling for pace, really. But now heading towards Monza and the next races, how do you feel? Do you think your confidence and pace has gone back up?
Yeah, my confidence has definitely got a boost now. Jeddah is probably my best and favorite track, but I think I will be able to at least fight in top 5 on Monza.
It was really nice to see you back in the fire as well. Like, the undercut worked because you got ahead of Mo and Nemo, and you lost the DRS. Well, you didn't lose the DRS, but Liza Star lost the DRS. And when he lost the DRS towards Mo and Nemo at the time, and you got past Rise Star, were you a bit frustrated because you were pushing so hard to get back in DRS range, and the only way to do that was to do an undercut, and that was the plan, and it worked for the time being, didn't it?
Yeah, I knew that I had a better pace than Mo, but I did a lot of mistakes when the tires were gone, and yeah, I haven't done a lot of race trim, so I didn't know entirely where the braking points and turning points were on the worn tires, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, you were struggling towards the undercut, but you had no grip whatsoever. I could see you struggling for traction out of corners and sliding for corners too, but it's unlucky to miss out on a win. When Jensen overtook you before turn 27, did you think you had a chance to go back in on the line, or was it over?
Yeah, I knew that he had a compromised line into the last corner, but I just didn't have any traction. So I hope that the DRS would help me, but yeah, it was just no chance.
Well, mate, I'm very happy to see you back at the podium. Very nice to talk to you in a long while, since the last season as well. It's been quite a long time, Harry. What has it since I last spoke to you in a podium interview? I think it was back in the Miami Grand Prix. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've done some changes into this year's game, so yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Happy to see you back as well. Nice to talk to you, mate, and congrats on P2.
Yeah, thank you.
Moving on to the race winner. Well, Jensen, wow, what a roller coaster you had, literally around here inside of it, because you locked up in towards the last corner and went. What happened there? That was such a bizarre way to go out the race, because it just looked like the car wouldn't turn or stop at all.
Yeah, I went for a move on Amina, obviously, and I just misjudged that. I don't know, that corner. Every single time like every other corner in this track, I seem to hit quite well, but yeah, the final corner the braking zone seems very tricky for me to get right, and that was one of those moments which really cost me. Well, not in the end, but in that moment, and yeah. I decided to turn right instead of try and see if I can make the corner and risk damage. So yeah. So I missed that. I was about 7 seconds or so off. I was trying to keep up, but my tyres kind of shot at that point. So I went for an early stop. I got right back into the fight, but obviously Harry Kane had a gap away, and that kind of ruined the race for him there as well, because I don't know how my tyres would have been at the end. I think it definitely would have been a bit worse than everyone else. But the safety car kind of gave me a chance to properly fight for the win in the end, and yeah, in the end, Harry Kane and a few others only had the mediums, while me and Fireblaze and others had the hard tyres, which ended up being the better tyre. And yeah, I was just fighting as hard as I can, just trying to make as many overtakes as I can, and yeah, managed to get Harry Kane on the final corner, which I was trying to hope to get him into turn 1 on the final lap, but yeah, managed to hold me off there, and only just got him. He did such a good job on those mediums. They must have been pretty much shot by then. 8 racing laps on them. So yeah, kudos to him. But yeah, happy to win that race even after what happened there, because it's a bit embarrassing for me. But yeah.
Yeah, we caught it on stream, so you can watch it back if you want. Yeah, so when that safety car came out and you rejoined other pieces, what was you thinking at the time? Do you think now safety car's out, do you think you could have the chance of winning the Grand Prix or being at least the podium at least? What was going through your mind when that safety car came out to help you?
Well, at the start of the race, I had probably the best pace. I was able to make moves relatively easy, so yeah, I was on quite a low wing setup. Like I had absolutely no, like 0 rear wings, so I was flying down the straight. Wasn't using so much battery in those instances, but yeah, I don't know. I somehow found a knack to make overtakes around here, and I think I made them on many different parts of the track as well, so it was quite fun. But yeah, I thought Fireblaze would have had him, but I think it was quite tricky even in the end to overtake Harry Kane, even on his short medium with the turbulent there. But I think I forced Fireblaze to make a move which ended up losing in the DRS for the main straight. I managed to get in the mix there, I managed to make that move. So there's a bit of aggression and strategic games with that.
You overtake Mo and Nemo in the championship as well, so you do move back up to first place. And now going towards the Italian Grand Prix, now be the championship leader once again. How do you feel going towards the next races?
I think Monza could be anyone's, but yeah, in the next few races, hopefully try and stay in that top 5 kind of battle, because I think it's really close, even though wasn't many people tonight. It was really close between like 6 or 7 people, so it could be anyone's game, I think, in Monza and the next tracks to come. So yeah, but I'm just hoping to be in that mix or stay in that mix for those tracks, because well, some I haven't raced and some I've got like some are really bad for me, so yeah, I don't know how they're gonna go.
Well, thank you very much, Jensen. Thank you for giving me a soliloquy, and I think you've answered pretty much all my questions, mate, as well. So, thank you very much, and congratulations on the win, mate. Thoroughly deserved, and what a great comeback drive to the field after what happened down towards turn 27. Well done today. Congrats.
Thank you, and thank you for the commentary as always, mate.
It's okay. Well, that's it then for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. We move back to the European Grand Prix. The Monza Grand Prix on Wednesday as well at 7:30 for Division 1, 7:30 for Division 2, and the same time for Division 3. But of course, we got the Monza Grand Prix this weekend in F1, so that should be interesting with the long straights. So we'll see what happens there. And will Ferrari win like they did last season? Highly unlikely. Probably Piastri who do it again. But yeah, we'll see you all next week at Wednesday at 7:30 for Division 1 for the Italian Grand Prix. See you all later. Goodbye for now. And I'll be in the Netherlands tomorrow as well, so I can't wait.